The ultimate secret to spirituality is literally just to relax. When you accumulate prana, when you accumulate energy, that is when you start to awaken spiritually. Just as the body needs physical nutrition, the energy body needs energy as nutrition in order to grow. As you accumulate prana, as you accumulate energy, that is when the chakras awaken. And what causes us to lose energy is always, always, always that we react negatively to the world. If you just sit peacefully and watch the world go by, then you will never waste energy. But when you get angry at someone, you get into a fight, that is when you are wasting energy. When you get frustrated, when you get confused, when you feel jealousy, when you have a negative reaction to the world, that is when you lose energy. And also when you have a shitty diet, or like you smoke cigarettes, or drink too much alcohol, or do other unhealthy things. There are two things you can waste energy to. Either you ruin your health, or you simply have a negative reaction to the world. And the easiest way to be at peace and to not react negatively to the world is just to relax. This is why the yogis, they spend so much time just chilling. You will see the real sadhus, they don't have a home. They don't have a family. They don't have a lot of friends. They spend most of the day just chilling. They don't want any drama. They don't want a job. They don't want a family and all kinds of drama. They don't want friends and all kinds of drama. They just want peace. Or the real yogis, many of them will go into the Himalayas and they will just sit in the mountains and chill. The reason spiritual people tend to avoid society, tend to avoid the societal game, is because that is what produces attachment. That is what produces negative reactions. That is what produces drama. People in this game of life, in this game of society, chasing status, having different ideologies and beliefs, whether it's religion or politics, or whether it's what movie you think is best, or what artist you think is better, if it's Kendrick or Lamar. People in society, in this game of life, they constantly have drama, they constantly have conflicts, they constantly have beef. And that is what leaks energy. See, people willingly use their energy and their time to create conflict. You use your time and energy to argue with strangers online, or to get mad at people in traffic, or to get jealous of your co-workers or of your neighbor for doing better than you. So the main cause of losing energy, of losing prana, is simply that you react negatively to the world and you get lost in drama. And the easiest way to avoid all drama is just to relax and not give a fuck. If you can just stop reacting to the world and be at peace and just kick back and relax, then spirituality will happen like this. If you can just figure out how to not waste your energy, waste your time, and waste your life on drama, then spirituality will happen on its own. As long as you learn how to not waste your energy, it will accumulate. For most people, life happens like this. They wake up, they eat their breakfast, and they get a lot of energy. And then they go to work, and they get angry at their coworkers and their boss. And then they come home, and they get angry at their family. Or they have some argument or conflict. And then they go online and argue over politics. And then they watch the news and see the war in Ukraine or whatever. And then they get sad and depressed. So people realize they find and seek out all these things in the world to be angry at. It's always a choice to be angry. People could literally just avoid their phone and not turn it off. They could just shut off the TV or just throw their TV out the window. But they decide to turn the TV on and go to the news and see some drama and some war and get sad. They decide to go on Twitter or Facebook and find something to be angry at and argue over. They find people in the world who think differently, who have a different political ideology or have a different religion, and then they argue over all these ideas. It is always a choice to find conflict. It is always a choice to engage in drama. And it is always an option to just kick back and relax. If you can just figure out how to relax, then you will not waste your energy. Then it will accumulate and you will turn spiritual. This one thing, if you can just figure out how to relax, then you will see God. And everything in this world is just a game. There is nothing here to be serious about, and there is nothing here you can change anyway. If there is a war somewhere in the world, then so what? It's none of your business. It's not your fault. And you can't change it anyway. So what if children in Africa are starving? It's none of your business. It's not your fault, and there is nothing you can change anyway. When you learn to let the world do its thing, when you can accept that the world is flawed and you can't change it, okay? And you then just relax, then spirituality will happen on its own. It is always when you find fault with the world, when you judge the world, when you think something out here is wrong, or when there is something you demand should be fixed, or when there is something you disagree with, or when there is something you can't accept, that is when you feel negative emotion, that is when you lose energy. And it might seem careless or selfish to just mind your own business, but really, what can you change? You are one human out of 8 billion. What does it matter if you are sad about the war in Ukraine? What does it matter if you are one angry person who is arguing with a stranger online over politics? You see all these people getting lost in drama and conflict, and yet what actually changes? It doesn't matter if you are angry. It doesn't matter if you are sad. The world doesn't change. You can be angry that Putin is invading Ukraine, or you cannot give a fuck. That doesn't change anything. The only difference is either you are angry and you lose energy, or you are at peace and you retain it. And see, when you are at peace, when you are happy, when you have energy, then you can make a change and benefit other people. When you are lost in drama, lost in conflict, and you are sad and angry or depressed all the time, then who can you benefit? So it's actually not selfish to mind your own business. It's much better for the world that you forget the world in Ukraine and you do what you love and benefit the world. And instead of you, let's say, getting angry at Russia and going on Twitter and writing about how big a tragedy it is and how you demand change or whatever, and then you get angry and you get sad, and now you're not doing what you love. Now you're sitting on your couch and being angry and sad instead of chasing your heart and benefiting people. So really, the selfish thing is to care. You see, all these people who care about injustice and care about like all these political things and demand the world should change, those are the people who are now lost in drama, who are now not following their heart and not benefiting the world. No one receives benefit by you being angry, sad, and depressed. And it is actually the ego that likes to get involved in conflict, that likes to get involved in all these matters of injustice or change or whatever, or drama. Because in doing so, it gets to feel superior. When you have an argument with your coworker, you get to feel like you're better than him. That is your ego getting high. When you get angry at Putin and think he's such an idiot for invading Ukraine, that is actually your ego saying, Putin is bad and I'm better. So now your ego is getting high. We always seek conflict and drama because the ego wants to feel better about itself. It wants someone to make a devil out of so it can feel like an angel. You want someone to put beneath yourself. That is why the ego seeks conflict. If you can just be at peace with yourself and be like, I'm good enough, I like myself, I don't need to be better than anyone else, I don't need to be above somebody, I'm just me and I'm just here and I'm just enjoying life, then you will never seek conflict. So really, relaxing is an absolute superpower when it comes to retaining your own energy and just focusing on what you love doing. Let the world go to shit. Let people do what they want. That is their business, that is their karma, and there is nothing you can really change. You cannot force change upon the world. But what you can do is follow your heart, do what you love, and by doing so, you will naturally inspire other people. Let's say you're a vegan, and you think that eating meat is evil, and you want the world to change. Now if you go to all the meat eaters and try beating them on the head and saying they are evil and unethical and unmoral for eating meat, then who will listen to you? How will you cause people to change? If you, on the other hand, just do what you love and mind your own business, and let's say open a vegan restaurant, you pursue your passion for food and for veganism and make a restaurant, then now you are inspiring other people to become vegan. Or you can make a vegan cookbook or become a cooking YouTuber who talks about veganism. By doing what you love, you can inspire other people and you can change the world. By focusing on yourself and by being an example, you can change the world. By trying to force change upon the world, by creating conflict, you will never change anything. So once again, just relaxing and forgetting about all the conflict, letting it go, letting the world do its own thing, and then just focusing on what you love. That is a superpower for spirituality, and that is also how you create the most benefit for the world. You will never benefit the world by creating conflict, but you can change the world by focusing on yourself, focusing on what you love, and then inspiring others. And relaxation itself also makes you more sensitive. If you are relaxed, then you are naturally present. You are right here, right now. You are grounded, you are sensitive, you are relaxed. When people don't sense life, it is because they are stressed, they are disturbed, they are angry at something. If you are busy thinking about how much you hate your job, or how stupid the liberals or the Republicans or the whatever political party is, then you cannot sense life, you cannot sense God. The more stuck you are in your own thoughts and in the conflicts and the dramas of your mind, the less you sense life. In order to sense life, in order to sense God, you must make space, you must be at peace, and you must sense life. And you cannot sense life when there is drama and when there is conflict. If you just go into nature for a week without a phone, without anything to distract you, and you just sit down, then I can guarantee you, after a few days you're going to be like, damn, nature is God. This is Bhumi Devi, it's Mother Earth. This exact same thing happened to me 1.5 years ago when I was in the mountains of Norway. I literally just sat in nature and I slowly realized that Mother Nature is God. God is right here, right now. A person who is sensitive can realize God just by touching grass, just by touching a tree. It is a matter of sensitivity if we can sense God. And sensitivity is a matter of relaxation. I kid you not, if you just know how to relax, then you will realize God, because you will become sensitive to life. And God is everywhere. God is even in the wind. In Hinduism you have Vayu Deva, the god of wind. A person who is sensitive enough, they can take a breath and realize that breath, that oxygen, that is life itself. That is God. For a person who is sensitive enough, God is literally everywhere. It is a matter of sensitivity, and it is a matter of relaxation. And relaxing also helps you enter a trance state. Essentially, when you are meditating, you are trying to quiet the mind. You are trying to find peace. You are not using force. A lot of people think you have to try hard to meditate. You have to focus. That's not the point. The point of meditation is just to relax. If your mind keeps thinking, then you let it keep thinking. You detach. You let your mind do its thing. You just become an observer. You simply sit. So really, meditation is a state of relaxation. And once you relax, once you let your mind go, once you let your thoughts go, and once you stop creating thoughts, that is when you enter a state of deep meditation. So relaxation is also the key to meditating. Realize when we have thoughts, it is always, or well, most often, it is something we are angry about. And negativity is always complicated. If, let's say, you were angry at your boss, then you have a lot of reasons. He treats you like shit. He does this and that. And you have a bunch of memories about, like, this Monday he did this thing. Or a few weeks ago he called you, like, a bad thing, or whatever. See? So negativity is always complicated. We have so many reasons to be angry at people. And we have so many negative memories of what they might have done to us. But joy is very simple. If you are enjoying a piece of music, then you are not thinking. You are just like, wow, this sounds so cool. If you are going for a walk in nature, then you are just in awe. You are not analyzing the trees, you are not thinking, you are not rationalizing everything. Joy is simple. People who are happy naturally think less. People who are happy, they just relax and they enjoy life. People who are angry, they have a lot of thoughts. And they have a lot of reasons to be angry, right? If a pizza is bad, then you have a lot of reasons, a lot of thoughts about how it is bad. It has too much salt. It has too little cheese. It has too much tomato. Not enough vegetables, whatever. It has a thin crust, so you don't like it. You have a lot of reasons, a lot of thoughts for disliking something. If a pizza is good, you're just like, it tastes amazing. It's a great pizza. So happiness is simple. Whenever we like something, we just like it. When we dislike something, when we are angry, then we have a lot of reasons. We have a lot of thoughts. Negativity is a complicated affair. Joy is a very, very simple matter. People who are happy don't really think at all. They are just here with life and they are just doing what they love. So relaxation, or rather joy, is linked to relaxation. Joy leads to relaxation. Negativity, anger, frustration, that is a state of confusion, of disturbance, and of many thoughts, of stress. Relaxation is naturally a state of happiness, joy, and bliss. And in that state, you become sensitive to life. And life will be just as great as you are sensitive to it. Let's say you go to a restaurant, right? And you are really, really stressed and you are eating quickly. You are just like gobbling up the meal. You don't even pay attention to the taste. You don't fully enjoy it. You don't fully appreciate it. Now imagine you are relaxed. You have just meditated and now you are paying attention to, let's say, the pizza. You are paying attention to each taste, to each note, to the texture. Now you enjoy it way, way more. When people pay attention, when they are present, then life is much more profound, much more joyful. When you are sensitive, then life is much more joyous. If you listen to music, but let's say you are stressed out and you're not even paying attention, then it kind of just happens, right? If on the other hand you relax, you kick back, and now you really pay attention to the music, then there's a much deeper state of joy. You notice each instrument, you notice the lyrics, you notice the melody way more, right? So the more you pay attention to life, the more you are sensitive to life, the more happy you will be. When I drink wine, then I just drink wine. To me it all tastes the same, right? But there are some people who are wine connoisseurs. To them, they can taste all the minute details. To me, it's just alcohol. It's cool, right? But to a person who truly pays attention to wine, that is a much greater experience. The point of spirituality is to become a connoisseur of life. Most people, they just drink it. They just, go through it. But if you learn to pay attention, be relaxed, be present, be sensitive, then life is a much, much greater experience. it is much more joyful. Relaxation is naturally a state of joy, naturally a state of sensitivity, happiness, and bliss. Whereas thinking too much, or being stressed out, or overthinking everything, that is always linked to negativity, to frustration, to anger. There's a lot of reasons to be angry. Hate is a very rational and realistic thing, but when we are happy, we are just happy. If a pizza is bad, you can name so many reasons it is bad. If a pizza is good, you just say, it's nice. If a piece of music is bad, you can say the melody is wrong, the mix is horrible, the lyrics are corny, right? If a piece of music is good, you just say, wow. So relaxation is a superpower. It can elevate your energy on its own, because just by relaxing, just by minding your own business and your own life, you keep your energy. You only lose energy when you react negatively to the world. And relaxation is also the way to fully enjoy life, to become sensitive to life, and also the way to become sensitive to God. It is also the way to meditate, to naturally enter a state of peace and meditation, and to then experience the higher realities, to experience God. So, relaxation is absolutely a superpower for spirituality. Jema, and be relaxed. Oh, and a secret mantra to become relaxed, which is completely safe, is Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Just repeat this 108 times. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. I can guarantee you, afterwards you'll be completely relaxed and blissed out. A lot of people who I give this mantra to, they enter trance states on accident. Some of them just do this mantra and they suddenly start seeing spirits and deities. Because just relaxing is a superpower that can naturally have you enter a state of meditation or even trance. And the mantra is completely safe. It doesn't require diksha or initiation or anything. So go relax, do some Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and at some point, see God. Jai Ma.